Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the January 27th Kitsap Regional Library Regular Board Meeting. We're going to call to order. It's 5:30, and I'm going to turn it over to Marwan for the mission statement.
Inspiring curiosity and connection.
And we'll turn it over to Jason for introductions.
Good evening. Happy New Year. And Gina, welcome to your first meeting as trustee president.
Thank you.
Got a full slate tonight. Sans 1, Executive Assistant Tammy Jeffries, Deputy Director, Chief Financial and Operating Officer Dan Baer, Deputy Director of Public Services Shannon Peterson. I'm going to skip over this next one because I'm going to finish with that one. We have the Director of Strategy and Communications, Jeannie Allen. And then we also have the Director of IT and Facilities, Mike Rose. Absent is the Executive Director of the Kitsap Regional Library Foundation, Wendy Kyle. But present is our brand new Director of Human Resources, Chandra Tellerico. Let's give her a big hand and a warm welcome to her first board meeting, so welcome. Also special guests, we have the entire -1 communications team here. I'll let their director introduce the team. They are presenting our mission moment tonight, which is all about our social media presence in the county, of which Ms. Caitlin Nicholas does an excellent job at that. So on behalf of the communications team, she will be presenting. That's it. And we do have Wendy Kyle in-house, and welcome.
Hi, Wendy. Great. Thank you, Jason. And welcome, Chandra. Did I say it right? Welcome. Okay, do we have any additions or changes to the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. And I understand we have no public comment tonight. Okay, we'll move on from there. And we're up to the consent agenda. All matters listed within the consent agenda are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion of the Board of Trustees with no separate discussion. If separate discussion is desired, items may be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda by request. Any board members want to remove any items?
I so move that we approve this consent agenda.
A second?
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to pass the minutes of December 15th regular board meeting, minutes of December 19th board retreat, payment of a direct December 25 expenditures, and removing surplus library materials. So it's been motion and second. Any discussion? No, motion carries. Okay, next we're going to move on to presentations, reports, and briefings, and we're at our mission moment. So Getting Real, sharing the library story on Instagram. Caitlin Nichols, content specialist, and her team.
The presentation today is just Caitlin Nichols. The rest of the team is here as support. They want to wave their Caitlin banners as she comes up to talk to you all. Just before Caitlin gets started, I just want to share that one of the things that has been really great over the last year is that, as Caitlin's going to share, she's been doing a lot of work with our social media. And I think one thing that we know is already hard is engaging our community. And so we've been working on that through social media and a lot of other ways, and Caitlin will share that. But even more difficult sometimes is engaging our staff. And so I think as Caitlin shares this, one of the things that really stands forward to me, and one of the reasons I wanted to bring this forward as a mission moment, is that Caitlin's done an amazing job going out to the branches, bringing in staff voice, and really connecting with staff in the ways that she's been telling our story in social. And it not only makes for better social and really gives the community a really beautiful picture of who we are as a library, but it's built a lot of trust between our department and the rest of the organization over the last several years. And that really makes it a lot easier for us to get really great feedback and do our jobs really well. So thank you, Caitlin.
Yeah, I'm Caitlin Nicholas. I'm the content specialist for the communications team, which means that I am a writer in the department, and I do a lot of video production and photography and kind of maintain the website's written content primarily. So today I'm here to talk to you about Getting Real, which is a play on Reels, which are short form videos shared to social media, and talking about how us getting into video storytelling is helping us find a new audience and while showcasing our staff and services. So how this started was in August 2024. We did a social review and looked at where we were at and what we could do and where the potential was for us. What we found was we had a large and engaged audience on Facebook. We had 12,000 followers. And on Instagram, we had a small but growing audience of 304 followers. So we saw a lot of potential there to try out new formats and new methods of storytelling. Previously, the Instagram had been started to showcase teen services during the pandemic. And that in August 2024, that mission just wasn't as necessary because the pandemic was winding down, and we were finding that there weren't as many teenagers on Instagram. So it made sense to expand that audience to include those of other ages. So we came up with a social strategy, and the goals of that were to nurture and grow the audience we already had, and to reveal the human and fun side of the library, to showcase our collection and resources, which are vast and not known by everyone, via the passion of staff and patrons. And then, as a part of that, to become a more active participant in social, which means sharing stories from the community as they visit the library and attend our programs, and also responding to questions on there and having more of an open dialogue. So our strategy was to increase short reel production. Some of those videos were just for fun, to kind of help people get to know us and become more familiar and trust us. And others were educational about our services and resources, but still trying to maintain a fun vibe. We wanted to have more focus on staff, why they chose to do this work, what they love about the library, and the expertise they bring to Kitsap to really showcase what makes Kitsap Regional Library special, which is, of course, the staff who work here and the people they serve. And then we also wanted to be on trend, which means embracing the memes, using trending audio and video formats to be part of the conversation, which in turn feeds the algorithm and basically gets our videos in front of more new eyes. So I have 3 examples of some of the videos that we've made. This first one is I Do That With My Library Card, and it showcases one way that we've highlighted resources in the collection through the use of videos about things like our digital magazines, our staff recommended book lists, and how-to guides, how to actually access the resources that we have and use them.
Downloading audiobooks for your commute? I do that with my library card.
Check out books for my whole book group? I do that with my library card.
Want to access the internet for free? I do that with my library card.
Building something big this weekend? I do that with my library card.
Learning a new language? I do that with my library card.
Want to use LinkedIn Learning to enhance your computer skills? I do that with my library card.
Loading up on bedtime stories? I do that with my library card.
Looking for recommendations based off your favorite read? I do that with my library card.
Wanting to check out your favorite movie again and again and again? I do that with my library card.
So to make that video, I obviously went to different branches. I reached out to staff and asked who wanted to be a part of it. We tried to showcase each branch, and we also showcased some of our public services support as well as the interns in our program. And we learned some lessons along the way, such as using microphones that public services support has to better amplify those voices, and also working with closed captioning so that if you couldn't hear the video very well, or if it was too fast, that you could still track it through those closed captions. But that was a very successful video for us. It was one of our most popular videos from last year, and it just brought out a lot of library love and a lot of people realizing that they didn't know everything they could do with their library card. And of course, that doesn't show everything they can do with it. It just happens to fit in a nice short format. So in this next one, this is another type of video we do where we highlight staff talent. Immersive design, expertise-driven programming, thoughtful patron solutions. We have a really deep bench of trained talent on staff, and so we want to showcase that in as many ways as we can. Staff often have creative methods to inspire patron inspiration, and the list really of what they bring to our organization goes on and on and on and on. So here's a short video showcasing one way that shows up. So this video did not take very long to make at all. This took about maybe 90 minutes and just involved me going to Manchester to film the Christmas house that 2 of the librarians had made. One of them actually made this structure and the other one made paper mache animals to live inside of it. And this was our second most popular video last year. People really loved it. And it does just showcase like the extra mile that a lot of times staff will go to really make this like a special space and unique space to come into. And then our final video is showcasing what a lot of our videos do, which is highlight our branch events, summer learning performances, and special ongoing series to make it feel like you're somehow visiting all of our branches at once, that you get a good sense of what's happening across the county, because there are varied programs all over. It really just depends on what branch staff, like their unique talents and backgrounds, can bring and provide to the community. And as you'll see, a lot of people come out for these. So this is of the Sylvan Way Halloween Parade. Okay, and that was our most popular video last year. We had over 10,000 views on, or not 10,000, 9,000 views on Instagram alone. And we found with summer learning especially, it was really rewarding to be able to promote the programs in advance. We make the booklet every year and put them all online, but then to also be able to go out and show how people are showing up to that around the community throughout the year. And people really respond to it. They like seeing themselves in our videos, and they like seeing themselves at the library. And the results have been really encouraging and successful. So our Instagram audience has grown by 5 times. So we have 1,500 followers now. We have more buy-in from staff, which means that they're emailing me or messaging me when they have ideas or see fun things that other libraries are doing. They have a really committed participation and just enthusiastic support, which is really important for such a small team when we're trying to pull this off. The conversation online has been much better. We're seeing increased engagement, which just means likes, loves, shares, comments, and responses across our platforms. And we've also had strong Facebook audience growth. Despite Facebook's declining popularity, our audience still grew 16%, and we have 2,000 more followers than we did before. So that's been really encouraging, as telling us that the work is paying off. So onward and upward, you should follow us at Kitsap Library on both platforms to join the conversation in a community that is growing and vibrant. And if you have ideas for us, I will always take them. I might not make all of them, but I will always take them. And you can email us at social@krl.org. And that's all I've got for you.
Thank you.
Do you have questions?
Do you guys have questions?
Absolutely. Well, I love social media things. So my question for you is, growing your Instagram 5 times is really impressive. So where are the teens also? Are you thinking about TikTok at all? And what's some of your strategies for 26?
Yeah, I think the teens are ever elusive. So we are thinking about other platforms. TikTok has been tricky because of like different regulations on it or potential regulations on it. But we are definitely trying to see where we could expand into. In all honesty, it is taking a lot of time to create what we already have. But we definitely do not want to neglect the teens, and we do want to find them. So that's kind of an ongoing process. I don't have a firm answer on like where they are, but it's more research to be determined.
Do you have a like a timeline in the day or where you release content so you can drum up more algorithms?
So that's something I have been pulling data on. We've been trying different times and also experimenting with video length. So like some of our videos coming up are going to be a little longer. We're going to have a series, and we're going to continue to try to stay within that 30 to 90 second range just to see if like really what that's doing. It is tricky to like figure out what the algorithm wants and what is working, but I haven't found specific trends yet. We typically release our videos either at 9 a.m. or 3 p.m.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful presentation. Thank you so much.
I just wanted to dive in, and first of all, very good presentation. I remember early on, circa 2022, around February, when I first started and talking to Jeannie about goals and things, and it was probably a little later, and I think one of the things we really talked about is expanding our social media presence and being in that space. And I just want to commend you and the entire team on a job well done. Those videos are engaging. I think we obviously know that that's where a lot of the action is right now in terms of being able to show off all of your wares in life. It's via social media, via the reels, and kudos to you for mastering it, even though they're short, recognizing that it takes a lot of time to produce short-form content. I think that's really the thing that most people don't understand. In the world of social media, it's an actual production to do all of these. So kudos to you and to Jeannie and to Victoria for really giving you a space to do that on behalf of the library. I think we've definitely shown a lot of engagement with those videos, and so just want to encourage you guys to keep it up. Thank you so much. It's been great. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is reports from board members.
I don't really have anything to report.
Okay.
I don't have anything to report this month either. It's been a busy one, though.
Okay. The only thing I have is that I met the new adult librarian at the Little Boston branch, Jem. Spent some time with her, and I also went and sat in on the puzzle group at the Little Boston branch that gathers at 2 p.m. And just sat with them and visited, and it was wonderful because it reminded me of part of our mission statement, and that was connecting with some, I want to say, elder members of the community are the most participants, and 3 of them live in Bremerton, and they come all the way out to Little Boston to do puzzles and socialize, and I really enjoyed it, so I hope I can make time to go back. Okay, and next, Finance Committee report. Eric?
Okay, we ended the year of 2025 within the budget, so that's great. And we have a year-end cash balance that ensures us that we can meet our service commitments until the next large property tax collection, which will happen in April. So we're in good shape right now.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Dan for the financial report.
Well, Eric did a great job on delivering my report. So the only thing I would add is that actually our cash position at the end of last year was better than our cash position the previous year. So that makes me feel even better about being able to make it until April for our next drop. So thank you.
All right. Jason, you want to do your director's report?
Yeah, I'll do a quick report tonight. Good evening again, trustees. 2025, as you know, was a meaningful year of progress for us. We passed a levy, yay, and really entered 26, I think, personally, with strong public trust and a clear strategic direction, which we laid the foundation for the year before, and a focus really on stability for the organization and deepening our impact in the community. And so really, it's a highlight of 25 a bit and a bit of a window into what December gave us. So as you know, the voters strongly supported our library measure, upwards of 60%. And at the polls in August, we're very grateful for our entire community for that, which really signals to us strength in terms of a high community confidence in our strength as an organization to continue to do what we do for the public. So we're really excited about that, our role as a public institution, and reinforcing the responsibility of stewarding these services to the entire community. And so in a transparent way and with excellence, as you've seen from Ms. Nicholas there, everything we do, we want to do with excellence, and really excited about what lies ahead. As I've explained to the leadership team, our real work is really starting now. Yes, it took a lot of work to both plan, execute our levy measure, but the real work of starting to build on those promises really started the day after the election. And so I'm excited to roll up my sleeves with this team to do that. And so we think we are, and know we're a robust library system. We had a really good year despite all the inherent challenges. But operationally, I think we're maturing as a library system. We've navigated a plethora of facility challenges, as you know. Talk a little bit about where we left off in December with that. And it seemingly was all year long, but really it felt like it was all year. It was really towards the back end of the year, and the last quarter we really start to experience an uptick, particularly with things happening at Sylvan. But as you know, we had challenges with a couple of different facilities. But in terms of the things I'm most proud of, it's the way our teams pull together at the end of the year to manage those challenges, just like we pulled together the entire year to manage a levy, a summer learning program, or which is annual, of course, but summer's our busiest time. To be able to navigate passing a levy through all of those challenges, facility-wise, and all the other challenges that were thrown at us, it just shows that this team, first of all, has the capability to do anything, but more than that, we can't do it without our valuable staff partners. And so we're really looking forward to that. In December specifically, we had a lot of end-of-year business, kind of wrapping up the year and setting the table for this year. We had a retreat with the board that kind of ended the year, so thank you for that. It was a real opportunity to really play with our vision and talk about what we're planning to do in terms of our levy for 2026. We also end the year with a strong leadership retreat where we had an opportunity to start talking about what is coming out in quarter number one. And, you know, I think one of the things, and especially as we are onboarding Chandra, is really explaining the life cycle of a library system. And really there is no end. Everything is sort of cyclical and it just keeps starting back over. And particularly with summer, but it was a real opportunity for us to talk about the year ahead, what we were going to come out in quarter one, which is laying the framework for all of the things we're building out of this levy. And so to that end, December was really spent talking about how that was going to come out, who's responsible for us, for what, really looking at that sort of overall RACI matrix for the entire leadership lift that we have in terms of our levy. And then lastly, it's really closing out with celebratory meetings with all of our staff. We really try to close out the year with having meetings that are about, first of all, celebrating our wins of the year and then celebrating with our staff members. So that's become a tradition. I don't know if it happened beforehand, but it's really been nice to kind of wrap a bow on the year and end it in a positive note. We saw system-wide, we circulated about 2.6 million items last year. and that is strong. And there was very little staff movement, as it usually is in December. But we are really excited about where the library has really returned from the pandemic. I think, obviously, the activities of the 80-year anniversary really bolstered our circulation numbers and program attendance. Thank you, Communications, as well, for providing us a plethora of content with the foundation support to make the 80-year anniversary a really exciting time. I'm still hearing feedback from the community about those activities, all of the tchotchkes that came along with it, the mugs, right? Everything that was a part of that, the community is still excited about, and we continue to get comment cards from patrons who are wanting to experience that 80-year anniversary magic, of which you'll get a report next month, a bit of a preview. We'll have Communications back here. It's the whole comm show. So we'll welcome you all back with pictures of Jeannie for next month, or Victoria, whoever gives that. But lastly, I really want to extend my gratitude to not only our leadership team, but our board for a really supportive year for the entire organization. We could not have passed the levy without the board support and the foundation support as well. I really want to turn my attention to the foundation. Of important news that happened in December is that our very own Kitsap Regional Library Foundation was bequeathed with the Kitsap Chamber's Nonprofit of the Year Award. So I want to extend a hearty congratulations to not only Wendy, but to Carrie and Alyssa and the entire foundation team for a job well done. It was a challenging year as well for raising finances. As you know, last year was replete with lots of challenges, we'll say, but particularly in the economic environment, it was a tough year for average Americans to really determine where they're going to, which organizations or causes they were going to support. So in a year of really lots of confusion and diminished capacity from a lot of families, it was really good to not only see the foundation pick up that award, but also the foundation finish the year meeting all of its financial goals to support the library. So really a shout out to our foundation, which as a partner of ours in supporting the library, a job well done. We're very lucky to have a team of 3 that sometimes feels like a team of 30 just because of the impact they make. And that in of itself is what I've experienced in 4 years of being a library employee here. You know, we are not a small library system. We're not a large library system. We're somewhere in the middle, but our outsized impact is that of a New York, a Toronto public, a Chicago public, because the sheer, I would say not the volume of the things we do, but the impact of the things we do in the community is really felt. And so kudos to the foundation. And before I close, I'd like to give our newest, in December, something did happen. On the hiring front, we hired a new human resources director. So as the Board of Trustees knows, we have not, we had a vacant position for a while, and it was hard to hire during the levy. So I was managing human resources and all the other things, and with a little bit of help from Dan. And so we're really happy that we finally got a qualified candidate, and she comes very highly recommended. And I will give Chandra a couple minutes to just give a brief introduction and to tell you about who she is.
Well, thank you for having me today. Chandra Tellerico. I have about 15 years of HR and HR leadership experience across public, government, and for-profit government contracts. So everything that somehow serves the people in some capacity. I have loved being in public service for the last several years, and to join my own community, because I was going across the way, has been such a treasure for me. So I really appreciate this opportunity that you're giving me. I do also come with a lot of good education. I'm a lifelong learner. I have a Doctor of Business Administration, a Master's of Business Administration, and a Bachelor's of Psychology, and I'm a certified professional. So I'm happy to serve you and the team.
Wow. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Tellerico. That is my report. I will take any questions from the board.
Do you guys have any questions? Looks like we don't have any questions. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
At this point, I think we're going to turn it over to Dan to discuss Resolution 2026-01. Do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, I'll just briefly go through this. We are proposing a rather ambitious capital projects program for 2026 totaling $2.4 million. I've summarized it in 3 different categories. One category is maintaining and improving our library buildings. That would entail providing a funding reserve for the elderly Sylvan Way building, money to modernize and standardize our buildings, funding to have a furnishings replacement cycle now that some of our buildings, even the newer ones that came online, are starting to show wear and tear. Also to fund a fleet replacement cycle. We'll get going on that hopefully in 2026. We're also looking to improve accessibility by expanding public seating and meeting room spaces, supporting the expansion of mobile services with express services, and supporting the expansion of STEM events and offerings. And last but not least, keeping technology current, which would help fund the transition of public PCs to laptops for public use, and also to fund the implementation of a new human resource information system that is badly needed. I'll take any questions on that.
Do you guys have any questions? And all of these are in our strategic plan, and I'm going to miss serving on the strategic planning committee because it was a good opportunity to visit the strategic plan regularly and be reminded of these things that we committed ourselves to do. So, but I know you guys are going to do a good job on that. So with that, I will take a motion to approve resolution 2026-01.
I so move.
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And Dan, are you going to talk about the uncollectible fees resolution?
I am, thank you. So this is the time of year where we clean up our patron database, and I love how it says annual patron deletion. We're not deleting any patrons, we're only deleting accounts related to that. We have 3 categories. One category is inactive for over 7 years. These will include some fees that have been uncollectible as well. Inactive for 3 years with no fines, and no last activity date in 3 or more years. This year we're also cleaning up our student accounts with fees. So we're cleaning up not very many. There aren't very many of those. There's like 20 patrons that we're cleaning up with that, and a couple thousand in fees. The total that we're cleaning up in terms of fees to be written off is about $31,000. These are not fees that are on our books. We're a cash basis accounting system, so we've determined that they're uncollectible. We don't assume we were going to collect them anyway, so it's not hurting us financially in any way.
Any questions? Okay, with that, we'll take a motion to approve Resolution 2026-02, authorization for the Kitsap County Rural Library District to cancel $30,705.79 in uncollectible fees.
I so move.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, at this point time, we're going to go into an executive session for 30 minutes. We'll come back on the record at 6:33 to talk about the contract for our executive director. Thank you. For that break for an executive session. We're back on the record. We discussed the library director's evaluation and contract renewal, and we have this time we're going to consider a motion to approve the library director's contract effective February 1st, 2026 through January 31st, 2027. Do I have a motion?
I second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. All right, thank you for that. Next is housekeeping. So Future meeting date, Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. And you can visit the Kitsap Regional Library webpage for other dates to remember. With that, we'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you.